everybody, welcome back to the video. Today we're doing every Brawl Pass brawler versus Frank. So let's start. First up is Gale. He gets to use his super and 3 attacks, but he can't kill Frank. Sadly, he only does 7,160 damage. Next up is Surge, and he gets a strong starve, but he can't do it. He does 9,080 damage. Next up is Colette. Her hypercharge helps her super much, but it's just not enough, but so close. She deals 15,643 damage. Next up is Lou, and he gets help from his hypercharge, but he can't really finish the job. It just goes slowly and just doing 100 damage until the super hypercharge goes away. He deals 10,800 damage. Next up is Ruffs, and he shoots his super down, but it doesn't really help him. He deals 9,440 damage. Next up is Belle, and she uses her hypercharge, but it doesn't help her too much, so she fails. She did 11,780 damage. Next up is Buzz. He uses his hypercharge on Frank, but he's so close to do it, but he doesn't. He did 14,490 damage. Next up is Ash. He uses his super to get damage in on Frank, but it doesn't really help him too much. He deals 12,600 damage. Next up is Lola, and she gets help from her clone and absolutely obliterates Frank. She does 16,300 damage. Next up is Fang. He uses his hypercharge. He goes pretty well, but slows down in the end and he doesn't make it. He does 13,344 damage. Eve gets help from her babies, but it doesn't really help her too much, and she doesn't kill Frank. She does 10,156 damage. And next up is the Flying Janet. She uses her super that's kind of hard to control and doesn't get many hits on, but her attack gives some damage. She deals 8,335 damage. Now it's Otis' turn. His super doesn't really deal too much damage and he doesn't make it. He does 11,000 damage. Next up is Sam. He uses his knuckle busters, but he still doesn't kill Frank. He does 7,600 damage. Now it's Buster, but sadly he doesn't get helped by his super and his attacks doesn't deal too much. He does 6,243 damage. Next up is Mandy. She uses her super to deal good amount of damage, but she doesn't make it. She does 12,800 damage. Next up is RT that puts his super in the middle of Frank and absolutely destroys him. He does 16,300 damage. Next up is Macy that uses her hypercharge and absolutely obliterates Frank. She does 16,300 damage. Next up is Cordelios. His Shadow Realm doesn't help him too much in this challenge, sadly. He does 10,500 damage. Now it's Pearl's turn. She uses her hypercharge and destroys Frank on the spot. She does 16,300 damage. Last one's Charlie, and she uses her hypercharge to attack Frank multiple times and cocoon him, and then she just stands there and waits for a while until her spiders finish Frank, and she successfully kills him. She does 16,300 damage. Now this is the ranking list of how much damage they did. Take a look, please. Don't forget to join my Discord, link in the description. Bye!